There's always so much to discover with Ultimate Friendly Flora. I never tire of this presentation because 25 plus billion. Andrew, that's pretty potent, right?
Well, 25 billion, our original microbiome Friendly Flora product was 1 billion, then 5 billion. Now 25 billion. Actually, we put over 30 billion in every capsule when we make it. And the strains in our capsules are the specific strains that have been recognized by scientists, physicians, experts when it comes to looking at what is a microbiome. And what is a microbiome? What most of us don't realize that throughout our body, and in particular in our colon is the latter part of, our colon is the large intestine. It's the latter part of our digestive system before everything exits our body. In that latter part of our intestine, our colon, the thing they look at when we get a colonoscopy, in our colon, there are more organisms living there, organisms, living things, living in our colon than we have cells in our body. So understand, we are basically outnumbered. But being outnumbered should be a good thing, because if the complement, if the blend of Friendly Flora in our microbiome, in our colon, are the ones we want, then our digestion works better, more comfortably, our immune system works better, protects us better, our brain works better, because most of the serotonin, the feel-good hormone in our body, it's made by our friends living in our colon, in our microbiome. So there's almost no system in our body that doesn't benefit from having a balanced microbiome. But we don't have a balanced microbiome anymore because we used to get that from the natural world around us. The world around us is no longer natural. It's sterilized. We've sterilized our world for fear of viruses and bacteria and all sorts of things like that. So unless we make sure we're getting these organisms, are the complement of the organisms in our microbiome, are not going to be beneficial, unfortunately. And then those organisms, fibromucil, the fiber in fibromucil, it's exactly what those organisms love to eat. Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, the things that I was talking about for our bean and veggie gas relief. Those cruciferous vegetables, the fiber, the fructooligosaccharides in them, that's exactly what our microbiome wants to eat. But guess what? Not only do we not eat foods that deliver us the microorganisms we want, but we also don't eat foods that if we deliver the organisms, they'd be happy eating. So this is a way to ensure that if you're not eating perfectly to keep them happy, that every day you're repopulating. And what's important about a Friendly Flora product, it's not just about putting the right organisms in the capsule, which we have done. We followed the science, precisely followed the science to do that. But there's another step. You can buy great seeds for great plants if you're a farmer, for a great crop. If you're growing tomatoes, or if you're growing corn or wheat, whatever it is, when you buy those seeds, not only do you want to know that they're going to grow into the great plant, but you want to know that as many as possible, 100% of them are going to take root, are going to establish themselves. So you have to make sure that in a Friendly Flora product, not only are the right organisms in there, but those right organisms are going to establish themselves in your body, where you get no benefit, they pass right through you. And we focus on both of those things. So there's, and just another thing, beyond us being outnumbered by the organisms in our colon, that if you study your own genetics, or if you study the genetics of your microbiome, you get more insight into your health, your longevity, your risk of disease by looking at the organisms inside you rather than looking at your genetic material itself. So again, we don't want to be the victim of the unfriendly flora that lives in our colon and throughout our body, in our ears, in our nose, in our mouth, our genital urinary tract. We don't want to be the victim of what's there. We want to be the ones, as we say to children, it's very important how you pick your friends, because that is very well going to pick your path through life. We want to make sure we pick our friends in our microbiome, because it affects how we move through life. It affects virtually every system, every organ in our body.
Pricing, again, special purchase price. So the excitement today with a holiday special show with Andrew is that you're getting amazing discounts. Again, 30, 60, 90 or 180 capsules, that largest size, saving you $50 if you order it today. I still have written on my card what I wrote down the first time I presented this with Andrew, and this is what convinced me to try it. Andrew said that when you take antacids, proton pump inhibitors like I was, it upsets the pH in the stomach, or it can do that. And it can make it challenging for Friendly Flora to populate.
And our digestive system is very pH sensitive. We all know that. That's why we take these proton pump inhibitors, these antacids and things like that. So we're very sensitive to pH. These organisms are highly sensitive to pH. If you lived in your house, an apartment, wherever you live, and if normally the temperature is 74 degrees, if all of a sudden someone decided to make it 50 degrees or make it 100 degrees, you'd move out. And unfortunately, pH, our body temperature, doesn't change. The most decisive characteristic that changes in our digestive system is potentially pH. How acidic or how alkaline the environment is, because it affects the reactivity of molecules, it affects how things digest. So it dramatically changes the world. So when we take antibiotics, when we take these medicines for our digestive system, they might be doing work we desire, but it's safe to assume, it's safe to conclude that they're affecting our microbiome. And when they affect our microbiome, they affect our brain, they affect our digestive system, they affect our immune system. You can't escape that. It's unavoidable.
1,600, more than that actually, 5-star reviews. Gives you an idea of how much people love this. Try Ultimate Friendly Flora. Of course, with this, you don't need to refrigerate it or anything like that. It is ready to go as soon as it's delivered. And all of these items, and we'll talk about it as we get into Essential 1.